Shalom. Welcome to the Messianic Hour with Rabbi Scott Sekulow. The Messianic Hour is a program designed to give you insight into the Jewish roots of your faith. Rabbi Scott is also here to answer your questions and help you gain a deeper understanding of Bible prophecy. And now, here's your host, Rabbi Scott Sekulow.
Shalom, I'm Rabbi Scott Sekulow, Senior Rabbi at Congregation Beth Adonai, and host of the weekly national radio show, The Messianic Hour. I host the show with my wife, Judy, as we share an hour-long show on the importance of the Jewish roots of the faith. Judy, why don't you tell them a little bit about our format?
Our first segment of the show, we call it the Mystery of the Scriptures, and we take a chapter a week, and Rabbi teaches it on it, and we take it so you can understand it in the time that Yeshua lived, given what are the customs, what do the words mean, what are the teachings behind his teachings. And we need to understand the Scriptures not from a 21st century mindset or a Western mindset, but from a Middle Eastern mindset. That's the time in which Yeshua lived, in which he ministered. And it's so vitally important for us to understand that in order to have an understanding of what the Scriptures are. And our second segment of the show, we call it Culture and Customs. We're going to take a teaching, if it's around the Jewish feast, we're going to teach about the feast and what it means and how Yeshua is shown in the feast. We'll take things like Jewish prayer or the mezuzah or the tefillin, and we're going to teach on that so you understand what these things are. Not only from the aspect that Yeshua used these things, he would have a mezuzah on his door, he would have worn tzitzit, but also for those who have adopted a Messianic lifestyle, what these things mean to us. The third and fourth segment of our show is really dedicated to news from Israel. We have our White House correspondent, Bill Koenig, who comes on the show and tells us what's going on, what he's heard from being in the White House. We'll interview people in Israel of the Messianic movement. We've interviewed Ted Pierce when he's done outreaches. We've interviewed Jonathan Bernis with outreaches. We've interviewed Joel Rosenberg, David Dolan. We try to bring to you the news that you're not going to hear on the network news stations, so you can understand what's going on, how it plays into Bible prophecy, and why is it important for us as believers to support the land of Israel and what's really going on in the land of Israel.
So this show is dedicated to reaching the lost and educating the found. This show is done from a Jewish and Gentile point of view, and we really get a deeper understanding of the times that we're living in and what's going on in today's society, what you're hearing on the news, and how we see it in Bible prophecy. So I want to encourage you to go to our website, rabbiscott.com. You can become a member and you get a free book, I Have a Friend Who's Jewish to You, and a prophecy card that has 70 of the key prophecies, where they are in the Torah and where they're fulfilled in the New Testament. All that free just for clicking on sign up for our weekly newsletter, our email, so that you get more information of what's going on, news from Israel, and also the upcoming shows you can listen to right on your through your email or anytime at rabbiscott.com. I also want to encourage you to visit our website to watch our weekly service at Congregation Beth Adonai. We have starting on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have great Bible teachings by myself or my associate rabbi, Rabbi Dan Widmore, and then our Shabbat service starts at 11:15. This way you can see the entire service and join us. If you can't see it live streaming, we always have it archived as well. So go check out the website, rabbiscott.com, and we look to see you here, right here on YouTube. We want to hear your questions as well. We have the Messianic Minutes. It's a short version of the teachings that we do in also multi-parts, and answers questions from people who contact us from around the world. So if you have a question about your Jewish roots, email us at mail@rabbiscott.com, and you might be seeing your question answered next here right on YouTube. I want to welcome you into our studios located here in Atlanta, Georgia. And each week my wife and I, we get together and share about what's going on around the world. I come from a Jewish background, was raised in a Reformed family. My oldest brother Jay accepted the Lord in the late 70s, and then my brother Gary and I both in the early 90s, along with my mother before she went on to be with the Lord. So we have a really good understanding of our Jewish roots, and then how it's so important about how it affects us as believers today. My wife Judy was raised in a traditional Southern Southern Baptist background. And Judy, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
I'm Judy Sekulow. I have been married to this rabbi for 20 years now. And I was raised Southern Baptist. Really had no idea of the Jewishness of a belief in Jesus. We call him Yeshua, that's his Hebrew name. Until I married a nice Jewish guy, and I like to say that God has a sense of humor, because I could have never imagined that I am here today doing what I'm doing before I met him, and God put us on this journey. And we're glad to invite you into our studio today. Maybe a lot of you don't have an idea of what a radio studio looks like.
They've changed over the centuries. They used to be in enclosed, soundproof rooms, and now we're actually doing it in your office. And our main production is done up in Virginia Beach. Our producer, Nick, is there in Virginia, and he puts it all together, adds all the sounds in, and makes us sound so good. And so it's actually a lot of fun. We get to point at each other a lot to let each other know our cues of when we want to have the other person talk, and it's a lot of fun. As you see.
So you can see we have a relatively easy setup. We both have our laptops, so we're getting news, we're researching stuff, we use our laptops a lot, we're IMing each other on it because you can't always talk. If you ever hear that little laughter in Rabbi's voice, sometimes either myself or Nick, our producer, has said something to either each other or to him that's kind of made him chuckle, and we're bad about that every once in a while. We have to have fun. Got a couple of microphones. We use our phones to show us our countdowns for our segments because we've got to stay on time. And this is really kind of our setup, so we're glad that you've been able to come take a look and see what we do every week to bring the show to you.
So this kind of puts some faces to the voices you hear online. Hopefully we are what you imagined. Usually when I think about people online, they never look quite like what they say, but you can now see us online at our services. Plus, we'll be here doing the Messianic Minutes right here on YouTube. So I really want to encourage you, again, check that out. If you have a question, we have your answers. So send them to us at mail@rabbiscott.com. We look forward to answering them right here on YouTube as well. So that's all the time we have today for the show. Until next week, this is Rabbi Scott.
And I'm Judy.
Saying shalom and pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
The Messianic Hour is a program designed to give you insight into the Jewish roots of your faith. Rabbi Scott is also here to answer your questions and help you gain a deeper understanding of Bible prophecy.